Welcome. I'm from Roanoke, Virginia, and I've come down here to visit wonderful Raleigh. And I'm an accidental festival director as well as an artist and an art teacher. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. I thought it'd be the more interesting story. It starts off with this kind of question. What does this do? It's not really functional, so it must be art, right? And that's sort of my role at the school, is to ask those kind of questions and see if they get some kind of answers. But it seems dismissive of art. And when you read wonderful people like Harvard Gardner and so, you see that there's actually a lot of intelligence behind, and there's a lot of support for the idea that art does good things. And I was a little confused in terms of, are we talking about two different art forms? Are we really looking at art that you can laugh at and say dismissively, or are you thinking that this really does wonderful things for education? As a teacher, I was really more interested in terms of like, how do we teach art? If we are using pottery wheels and learning about tactile experiences, that's really positive emotionally. But does it prepare us for this? You've taken lots of art classes in high school, and you walk into a museum and see this painting. There is absolutely no technique that really prepares for you. It paints with a toothbrush, for crying out loud. So we sort of festival. This is one of the things we did at the festival, is question what art is. And I think these are wonderful art forms. They're power tool drag racers. They're saw blades with various mechanisms to attach to it. And I think this really questions like, what is it we can really teach in our schools about what art really does? In my school, now in our 10th year, we're a private school, just 50 kids, very small, and we need to have a fundraiser. Our board decided no one's doing anything during Mardi Gras, and so let's do something then. Unfortunately, it's in February, and it's sleety. It's not a really great time. So I was encouraged to do some art auctions. I don't really like art auctions. I thought it'd be better to go with something like this, do a fundraiser, and show different types of art forms that Roanoke doesn't always have a venue for. There's no way for artists that work in this art form to have a place to show. This is my school now. We model ourselves as a museum school. That means we've partnered with a lot of downtown museum institutions and organizations, and we started off with the idea that we would use their gallery spaces as our classrooms. This is more my idea of what a festival could be, as I was questioning about it. As today is December 8th, apart from being a day in infamy, it's also a day in France, in Lyon, where they have this wonderful festival for the last 350 years called the Festival of Light. And it kind of touches on the things I thought, if we're going to have to do sort of a friend raiser, let's make it a festival, and let's ask some of the questions I think art could really bring to it. And that's really about what place is. So here's a typical festival in Roanoke. This is called the Sidewalk Art Show. And it's an opportunity for artists to show their work, sell their work. It's an opportunity for people to sell the space too, in the tent space. And I think it's a bit like this. I think it's sort of a corporation thing that Andy Warhol was warning against. The idea that corporations or larger kind of generic idea of culture could be generated and placed anywhere up and down the East Coast, up and down the West Coast, and you could almost see the same art in the same places. And so if we made something place-specific, would be kind of fun. So we started off with this. This is a silly logo. I figured if you're going to take something pompous and make it look ridiculous, you should start with something that's not an eagle and denude it and give it a fig leaf and make it seem very vulnerable. And then make it about local art, not just the local art that's offered, but to encourage people to do something different. This one was a local, not really considering himself an artist, but I think he is. He encouraged people in Roanoke to do art about what they thought Roanoke was about. This is the Bread and Puppet Theater from Vermont. They came down for our festival, and they were really looking at social critique, which I think if you look at what the history of Mardi Gras is, which is the time our festival is, it's about social critique in Venice. It's social critique all around the world, really. And I thought we needed to do that. These are two wonderful performance artists from Cornwall in England that have come over for the last 2 years. And they did this piece in the Taubman Museum of Art, which was specifically designed for Roanoke. It's got to do with the coal culture and gas and so on. And so they made a meaningful ritual in the space for people viewing it, and I thought that was really powerful. And this is an exhibition by a good friend of mine in a space that there's not typical gallery space in Roanoke are co-ops. So you don't have a space to have a single show. That's more of a curated space, and that's what we encourage to happen for that week. I've come down here, and I found Raleigh very inspirational, especially these two wonderful things, which is in the same place now. And part of the reason why I'm here tonight is I'm accidentally a director. I don't really know anything about being a director. I'm kind of asking questions and seeing how do they do it in other places. We don't want to copy anyone, but we do want to kind of share ideas and ask, what is it you do? What is it gets you excited? How do you get that done? Maybe we can hook up. Maybe we can share ideas. Maybe we can network. So I thought SparkCon is a really wonderful thing. And of course, I can't pronounce it, PK Night is a great place to meet people with ideas. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm hoping to do regionally here tonight, if you have a chance to share ideas with me or give me any hints. And the festival's coming up in February. I had the dates for it. It links to what we do as a school. We ask this kind of mantra, be cautious of answers. It's the questions that are your friends. And I think that's what art does, is it makes us be satisfied with doubt as something that's enriching. It's when you're given an answer is when you stop thinking. And I think that's it for me. Thank you very much.